Welcome to another episode of War Hero to Superhero, helping military veterans and first responders transform their lives from the bedroom to the boardroom. We are in the Superhero Battle Room this week, and I am one of your hosts, Daniel Faust. In the Superhero Battle Room, we take military veterans and first responders that have transformed their lives from the war hero that they were, no matter if it was like 6 months or 60 years, which is kind of impossible. And we talk about their transformational story. And today, I got a person that going over and she's transformed her life. Her name is Carrie Beavers, and she went over and she was a female veteran, very powerful, influential veteran that went over and transformed her life, and now infuses her life with coffee and also helps veterans with PTSD and also veteran suicide and bringing that awareness forward. So we're going to see how coffee infuses with these two things and also see how she transformed her life. So I'm done talking because that's not my job in an interview, is to go over and bring Carrie in. So we're going to bring her in. Hey, Carrie, thanks for joining.
Thank you. Good
awesome.
to be here.
Sweet, sweet. So what can we ask every war hero to superhero is tell us your war hero story. How long were you in the service, what you did to serve, and when did that transition happen? Like 5, 10, 300 years, whatever happened?
Well, it seems like a lifetime ago. I was in 1991 to 2001, so it's been quite a while. I was stationed in Germany and then Fort Bragg. So when I got out in 2001, I was married at the time, and I transitioned to Michigan with my ex-husband and our first child.
Wow, that's a huge transition, just getting out from total Army. What did you do specifically in the Army? Were you infantry? Were you like signal? What did you do?
I was a medic. I had 2 MOSs. I started out 91 to 93 as a cook. Not really caring what job they gave me. I was ready to get away from my hometown, just small town. And then I went ahead and did 91 Bravo is what they used to call it, the medic school.
Wow.
So that was that was fun.
Man, so jumping in the frag with people's food and then jumping in the frag with people's lives on the hand. It wasn't a combat medic, was it?
Yeah.
So that's a huge transformation, just like from food to people's lives, and did that, and then now you jump out and you're moving to Michigan. So was it a hard transition to get out of the service? Was it easy because you said it's such a long time ago?
Oh, it was pretty difficult. My ex-husband was airborne infantry, and he transitioned out too. So we both kind of got to feel what it was like just to be thrown out there. He didn't really, with 11 Bravo, they don't have a lot of job skills that they can transfer. So he wanted to go to school and stuff like that. But it was difficult, just the transitioning into the jobs and the lifestyle. Unfortunately, we only made it to 2002 together and then got divorced. So
wow,
it was difficult. Especially difficult for me because I'm not from Michigan, and I stayed in Michigan because we had a child together, and I ended up living there. And as far as meeting people, it's so much easier in the military. But when you're going to a town or a city, even where people are used to each other, and say, for example, you go to a bar, it's not as easy to like conversate with people because they all have their cliques or they know you. You know what I mean? If they don't know you, they won't give you the time of day. So that was really difficult because you're so used to being around people that support you, or even if you don't know them, just that camaraderie or that something in common, that you can have a beer over. So that was a little bit difficult.
Yeah, I don't even drink beer, and I'll go out with a veteran. So, man, that was the same thing for me in 2012. I got out and I moved to Arkansas. I dragged my entire family from Ohio to Arkansas. And they're like, yeah, it takes about 10 years to build relationships. And I'm like, a decade on the clock? Really? I'm like, so when I hit that decade, is it like a celebration and people start connecting with me? I'm like, what do I do? How do I expedite this? So I could totally relate to that. So you were in Michigan for a while, and did you stay in Michigan long term? Did you go over and transition somewhere else?
I had a few moves back and forth during so I'm from Illinois, so I moved back once, and then I moved back again to Michigan.
Mm.
And then when my son was closer to graduating high school, I moved back to Illinois, I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
And my oldest stayed with his dad in Michigan. But so there was some moving back and forth just because of his dad still being his dad. So
Yeah.
so I've been back in Illinois where I'm from since 2015.
Okay. So hopefully that was easier for you now that you've been there for about 6 years then.
I'd like to say yes, but I still so I want to be back with closer to my parents because they're getting older and some had some health issues. And I want to, when you're younger and you're in the Army and you're traveling and you're not thinking time's really going by with your parents till you come back, you know what I mean? And they're a lot older. You're kind of just like caught up in your own thing. And so I want to spend some time, I want to make up some time, but I do live in the country. So that's a challenge in itself. I love the country life,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm very isolated.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I pretty, as far as, yeah, I'm just pretty isolated out here.
Yeah. So what made you make that transformation to go to this coffee business and bring that awareness? Because you could just say, hey, I'm already isolated, I'm already struggling, so why am I going to go help others? I want help myself. It's like we scream inside, I need it, but you're pouring out. So what made you transform to that? Because we don't have to, but why did you choose to?
Well, it pretty much goes back to the military because I did in 91 experience military sexual trauma, which gave me PTSD.
Mm-hmm.
And it's something that I was in denial about. The PTSD I was in denial about. And
Mm-hmm.
I guess after 30 years of putting up with my own shit and my own self-sabotage and my own, all these things that PTSD can do to you without,
Mm-hmm.
finding any treatment, or you just live with it and then kind of wonder why this is happening, or that, you have control, but it's hard to explain if you don't have it. But so pretty much tired of my own shit.
Mm-hmm.
And I was in a pretty low place, basically because I had my cousin's roommate was a VSO officer, and he kept telling me, you need to put a claim in, you need to put a claim in. I would be like, yeah, right. I don't want to drive 2 hours to you to put it in. And I didn't, I
Yeah.
just blew it off. But the fact that he kept, coming, saying it again and again, I was like, okay. But I had no idea that by putting that claim in, sorry, my cat scratched at the door.
Yeah.
By putting the claim in, that it would and me having to write it on paper is the beginning of me having to deal with it,
Yeah. That's huge. When
So,
people,
yeah,
that's
that,
huge.
so putting in that process of opening up those wounds, and I got in a pretty low place where I just didn't want to feel it or deal with it. So I had a lot of suicidal thoughts and just pretty low. And it's easier for me now to tell my story because times went by and I've had some counseling and I've had this and I've had that. Otherwise, I wouldn't even talk about PTSD. I would have been like, it's so funny. I was in such denial that I thought PTSD was for crazy people. I'm like, oh, so crazy veteran, but I'm one of those crazy veterans. I mean, you're just getting so much denial, and I'm glad that I'm not anymore. I mean, it's so freeing just to, but that's where I was. I was in a really low place, and I started reaching out on veterans groups online, and there's a particular group that had, unfortunately, it's sad to say, it seemed like almost a daily thing of somebody reaching out saying that they want to end their life. And
Wow.
I mean, not people just saying, oh, I don't feel good. They were always at the lowest point, like I was, saying things like that. And then I decided that, I just, from seeing that and then talking to people, I realized that me just listening to them was all they really needed was, and I know that civilians can relate with veterans, but when they're in this situation, even like this guy that was saying that his wife, he loves dearly, and his child, more than anything in the world, he couldn't relate to her at that time. You know what I'm saying? So him just even having me to talk to him on the phone for that, I never talked to him again. Maybe it was for 10 minutes of him blurting something out and feeling like somebody could relate. And then he was fine. I mean, I don't hear a lot about what happens after, but then I just really, I started getting on there every night. That wasn't easy to see that. And I'm like, what is going on? Like, I didn't know myself that many veterans felt that way. I thought I was didn't know anything about that. So I ended up getting with a veteran crisis center online also, that anytime I would see or hear somebody making these comments, and if I couldn't get a hold of them or somebody else, and it was really worrisome, I could just easily take the picture of the comment and find their Facebook page and just send that to this crisis center that they have all over the United States, and they would be able to find that veteran without phone number and address. And just seeing that, because then I started thinking, like, how can I make a difference? I'm one person. I'm just this little person here in the woods, right? In the beginning, I was really like that. I'm like, how can I make a difference? Come on, I'm only one person, and this veteran suicide's so much bigger than me. But you can. It's amazing. Everybody can. You know what I mean? Everybody together can make a difference.
We do, and that's the biggest thing to realize, is that we're not alone. That, hey, we're not the only one that's gone through like MST or PTSD or depression, anxiety, suicide thoughts, any of those types of things, or just the thing that just like the military just sucked for us, whatever it is. And then realizing that our mess become a message, and our test can become testimony, and our pain can become a purpose, and all those things in that. So how did you take those things and now help those others? You were listening on the phone, you were helping that out. But how did the coffee business come in there? Because I'm thinking, like, if I drink coffee, PTSD goes away. Do I feel better in the morning? I'm like, is it that good a coffee? I'm like, I just need to drink a cup in the morning and I have a cup of sunshine in there. I mean, everybody loves coffee except for me. I support coffee people. I just can't drink it because my heart stops. So I don't go happy. I go sad. So how does coffee go over and relate? And how does that help transform? Because the website's fantastic. I just love to hear more of the connection piece on how that happens.
Okay. I would have to start with another coffee company, and I won't give them a plug because but that basically, long story short, I found a coffee company that was hiring veterans. And once I got in, I didn't know how to sell. I couldn't sell myself a pen if I wanted to. I don't know. I can't sell. I couldn't sell. I can now, but I'm like, how am I going to sell this? But that really had nothing to do with it. It just had the fact that me connecting with other veterans, no matter what platform, on the phone or online or part of a team, it was back being part of a team, and just that connection again. So that really helped me. And I had no idea I'd go off on my own. I can just say that they weren't doing what they, everything they said for veterans. And I knew that if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do what I say. So, and that was it. Yeah, that just wasn't for me. So I really didn't know I was going to start my own. I've been in a group on Facebook for since last July with marketing and business, other vets that have businesses. And from their belief in me and their just helping me get that confidence that I could do it, because they were saying, you should start your own, because I was in leadership with the other one, and I did do their marketing as far as writing the training for the whole company, and I did a lot of things. And now I got the most online sales, and I was doing all these things, and they're like, wow, your own. And I'm like, yeah, I pretty much maxed out here as far as I'm going to get. And so I actually started the idea last, I'd say the beginning of December. It took till March. It took till March to get everything, my designs and stuff like that done, a lot of it done, and ready to launch. But so I launched March 13th, and
wow, just recent.
6 weeks, I think.
Whoa,
it's been crazy. It blew up. It's not even as big as I want. Trust me, this is nothing.
Yeah. Well, I think it's amazing so far. I mean, it looks fantastic. And then the marketing with the ladies and whatnot. You had the lady with like the green thing with the gun, drinking it in the morning and stuff like that. I'm like, if I drank coffee, that would sell me. But, you know, obviously got to be my wife. It's not going to be her, but it does sell. I mean, so it's beautiful marketing. So
thank you. But not only that, I teamed up with another veteran that I keep some of my details to myself, but he is my manufacturer, and he, the coffee sells itself because it's such a high quality coffee that's fresh roasted, and the roaster's been around for 50 years. Worked with Nestle. The roaster even worked with Nestle. It's just like, okay, you're already overqualified. You know what I mean? I'm not worried about the product. Now I'm just focusing more on what I can do for veterans and get it moved and stuff like that, and how I can help veterans. So that's nice to not have to, and I can't sell anything that's crap anyway. So, so the product sells itself pretty much. And well, like with business, it's a lot of ups and downs. You think you're going this way, and then you'll get a different idea, and this happens, and it's kind of roller coaster ride.
Yeah.
But for sure. But so I've had a lot of ideas with the company, but I'm sure it'll change and move and grow and all that. But I was thinking, like, well, how can I help with veteran suicide? Okay, so I can do awareness, but I did a lot of awareness with the other one, but this one I want to do more awareness. But I also, I'm like, okay, it's awareness, but I want to donate either portion of the proceeds or have people round up to the nonprofits that are already in place that actually take action to get veterans out of isolation, like myself. So like Real Warriors has the fishing trips that they actually do on the big. Those are amazing. I've been invited, but I always live too far away from everything. So maybe someday, but out in the cornfields, Illinois, a lot out here.
Yeah, just have to get you a flight. Just get you a flight out there so you can go over and hit those fishing.
Yeah. So basically, I started out with that, having the roundup, and that did really well. I think I said $153, but I looked at it wrong. It's 153 products rounded up. So people bought 153 things and rounded up, which is amazing. I was like, oh my God, okay, that's awesome, to give them. So just stuff like that. And then I kind of branched out even more, like, well, how can I help? So Final Salute Inc. has a nonprofit for homeless veteran women. And I know a few people that have ran from this veteran, and then somebody was asking for my help with something. So I was like, okay, let me see how I can help this one. So I know that I just want to help as much as I can, and I don't want to be all over the board with it, I guess. For now, I'll stick with that. But the bigger whole picture of this, even if it didn't even take off, because in the very beginning, when I started getting brand ambassadors, I put the thing up. I didn't really know what I was getting into because I just like, okay, whatever, you got to try. That's me. I'm just stepping out of my comfort zone as much as possible.
I think that's pretty smart. That's even Damon John goes over and does that when he launched his book. A couple of female veterans went over and launched books. So that's a fantastic idea.
Yeah, I love him.
And very glad that you're going over and helping out veterans, looking at proceeds, donating, and helping with us, because even in your struggle, you're helping with people in their struggle. And that's a fantastic thing. And then being an entrepreneur, then you're giving back to the community at the same time and employing people. So again, I want to commend you going over and doing that. I want to commend the people that I have been on this show to go over and do that, because it's not easy. You deal with your own junk, and then you're like, I want to help others. And, the world says, hey, deal with yourself, fix yourself. But, us veterans are like, hey, we're going to go lift others up because we pulled ourselves by our bootstraps too much. And that's also causes a lot of damage. So instead, let's go over and lift up others. So then it brings us healing. So I'm very proud to have you on the show and to share that. So with that, we have to get your 3 superhero tactics, because we got to take all this wisdom and condense it down, because us veterans might forget. You never know. So if you can consolidate into like 3 major things that you either share with veterans to help them go over and thrive, or maybe 3 lessons that you learned that you wish you could have told yourself, like in 2001 when you got out. It's like, oh, I should have had this.
Oh, there's so many things I could look back. But I'll try to think of 3. Number one, okay, it's not easy to ask for help. I know this, but if you feel like something's wrong, or my best advice ever would be like deal with PTSD symptoms as soon as possible, because if you don't, it's gonna make this thing, it's just gonna wrap itself around your life, and it doesn't matter how long you live. It's always gonna be there. There's always gonna be something popping up. And at least with treatment, you can. There's lots of things nowadays, but for me, I can only speak for me. But at least with treatment, I can recognize it, be aware instead of denial, and I can try to change my mindset in a positive, instead of using drugs or alcohol or unhealthy coping mechanisms, just trying to find healthy ones. So it's all about mindset, but at least if you're aware, then you can try to find those things with your mindset. And it's still not, it's hard, but like another tool with the coffee, like CBD helps me. And that's why I want to offer the coffee also, because it's CBD THC free 100%. So it doesn't, you'd have to, everybody asks me, to get you high? No, it doesn't. It's not the same thing. But if they research that online, they'll see that that's part of the plant that's not, it's THC free. But anyway, so that's just another tool I want to put out there, because there's lots of tools that can help with PTSD. And if I can put one out there, then I'm happy. So that's my biggest advice. Even if you feel bad about getting help, I just recommend getting help, because it'll show up in your life, and maybe not so many positive ways, and you'll feel like you're self-sabotaging your relationships or anything really. I mean, just, I've had a successful life, don't get me wrong, but I've also got to the point where I'm like, I'm not supposed to feel this happy, or I'm not supposed to feel this successful. You know, I've been a nurse forever and in healthcare since '95. So, yeah, that's my biggest advice for that one thing. That's only one. Sorry.
It's okay.
Number two, okay. We all have, I think it's good to step outside of your comfort zone if you can, because that's how you're going to grow, and it gives you more confidence to be successful. So that's my number two, is just trying to find things to push you out of your comfort zone. I'm actually going to my first event ever at Fort Bragg and APs in July. So that's out of my comfort zone, because I've been isolated here. And then the virus crap didn't help any. And I'm in Illinois, so we've been like in prison, feels like, since the virus started. But and number three, like, love yourself no matter what. And you can have like mental health issues or wounded, scars, whatever, and you're not less than anybody. You know, nobody's better than you, and everybody's their own unique person. So that would be my number three, is just to love yourself, and then everything else will just fall in place pretty much.
That's really cool wisdom to go and pass along, because once you love yourself, then you can be able to love on others. So, and then once you break out of your comfort zone, you might find opportunities to go over and do that. And then getting the help goes over and empowers you to be a better mom or a dad, be a better husband and wife, and better be an entrepreneur, so you can actually thrive from the bedroom to the boardroom. So you've summarized my whole entire mission in 3 superhero tactics. So fantastic. So cool. So they can go over and find you at was it soldiergirlcoffee.co? So sgcoffee.co, correct? Right?
Yep.
Awesome. So go check out the website, everybody. It's a fantastic website. Mine looks chump compared to hers, so I will lift that up. You know, I got to do some marketing for my own, so maybe I might go over and call her to go and say like, hey, how do I brand myself a little better? So we want to thank you all for going over and watching War Hero to Superhero. And if you want Carrie's story to go viral to our television network, which we are now rebranding our own, War Hero Superhero is going to have a channel on Legrity Media in the next 30 to 60 days. If you want her to win the contest compared to Travis, guess what you have to do? 3 seconds. That's all you have to watch is a view. We'd prefer you watch 25 minutes and 3 seconds of this interview. But hey, you know, maybe you want to support your friend and you're busy doing other things, or maybe you can't watch it super quick. Watch the 3 seconds in the next 3 days and catch it up on the replay, of course, and to put your comments in there. But if she gets the most views in 3 days, and this is a Facebook algorithm that we're doing, so you don't have to watch 30 seconds like on YouTube or Twitch, like everything else. Just go to Facebook, 3 seconds. You could be in the bathroom where most people stream anyway, and you can click it on 3 seconds. So don't say you don't have 3 seconds, because I know you do. An average person streams 8 hours a day after COVID started. 8 hours a day. So 3 seconds, not too much. I can do the math, but I won't scare you. So if you want to lift this up to the next level, because she's competing with Travis right now. So she's got until Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So yeah, Sunday. So just click it and go over and do that. They're in competition. We'll see who goes over and wins. So she gets the same 3 days as he does. So today's Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Travis gets cut off tomorrow. So if you want to bring the competition back up, you got one more day to keep it in there. So, but whoever you want to vote on, give that 3 seconds and go click on it and share it with your friends. And if you're wanting to uplift veterans in general and just everything else, hit the love button on Facebook. That algorithm, the love button sends more than the like button. So when you like something, Facebook's like, it's default. You're just going to click on it. Click the love button. So if you want to lift her up even more in the algorithm, hit the love button if you can't hit 3 seconds. So, all right. So, Carrie, you got the last parting shots, and then we're going to close out. So anything else you want to drop before we close?
Just want to say I have an affiliate program. And if you come and do the math, you're getting a pretty good commission off 20% of the total sale, because some of my products are not cheap. So you're only, it's pretty simple. With your own affiliate link, you're just sharing it. If somebody purchases, then you get the credit, the easy money. So I'd love to have all the veterans join me.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's about it.
Did you say 20%? Did I hear that right? It's 20%?
25.
25. That is high in affiliate. Wow. I've been working with an international business coach, and like the max is 35. You're almost at the max. And wow, you're selling a product, not a service. So that is impressive. So that's a lot to give. So I would definitely recommend that, and all right. So thank you all for watching War Hero Superhero. We're going to catch you on the flip next week, back in the bedroom. And every single month during this time, we're going to catch more veterans into the battle room. And if you want to lift Carrie up, go over and invest 3 seconds. So thank you all for watching, and we'll catch you next week.